Welcome. First off, physics is said to be the logical investigation of issue and vitality and how they connect with each other. This vitality can appear as movement, light, power, radiation, gravity, pretty much anything really. During my travels overseas this past month, I have come across many physics principles that I had never noticed are included in some of my day-to-day activities. The day I arrived to my first destination, I was able to go hot air ballooning for the first time. It turns out when traveling in a hot air balloon, you are applying physics principles. The fundamental guideline behind hot air balloons and physics is the utilization of hot air to make buoyancy, which creates a lift. A hot air balloon comprises of a huge sack called an envelope with a gondola or wicker bin suspended underneath. A burner sits in the container and is utilized to warm the air inside the envelope through an opening. This warmed air produces lift by method for a floating force, so neat. The use of scientific method can be used every day. For example, on my trip, I always make sure to have a warm cup of coffee in the morning, but I can never have it too hot, so I use the scientific method to help me out. First, I observe the fresh coffee in the hotel lobby. Then I ask the question, is it too hot to drink right now? My hypothesis was taken from previous experiences. Coffee is always likely to be hot, but because the hotel makes coffee for guests coming and going, it must always be at a warm temperature, right? My final hypothesis is it may be just the right temperature. For my experience, I pour a small amount of coffee into a cup and hold it to my mouth and ask, is there a lot of steam? How warm does the cup feel as I hold it? The cup was not very hot, so I concluded that the coffee was just warm and not hot enough. And I was able to drink it. I had a lot of time to reflect and think of what I was going to say and write about. Physics has provided so much for us in the past and recent years that we don't credit them enough for. One important technology that physics has gifted us with the ability to travel. It's our comprehension of the science that enables us to build planes that can fly anything, anywhere. This is something that individuals figured was inconceivable until in the not-so-distant past in history, we were able to produce an aircraft which flies high in the sky. Today, we infrequently overlook what an astounding achievement it is that there are so many colossal hunks of metal bringing individuals through the sky and around the world consistently. Before I arrived at my final destination on this trip, I had to lug around some heavy luggage, but luckily, the airports have luggage carts that can help someone like me get around some heavy bags. But while I was pushing this cart back and forth with my luggage, I noticed a classic physics principle dealing with force and mass. As I pushed the empty luggage cart towards my things, I could push it with ease, seeing as there was nothing on there to push yet. But as I stacked bag upon bags and I began to push the cart towards the exit, the cart was all of a sudden very hard to maneuver. This is because of Newton's second law. The full luggage cart has more mass than the empty luggage cart, meaning more force is needed to push it. It was an exhausting day. During my travels and trips overseas, I was always looking for new and exciting places to go that could help with my research. But to do that, I have to know what I am looking for and how I would get there. That's where the GPS on my phone came into play. My phone's GPS system helps me get from point A to point B, but that's only possible because of the physics of quantum mechanics. Cell phone navigation is empowered by the Global Positioning System, a system of satellites each communicating the time. The GPS recipient in your telephone gets the flag from various timekeepers and utilizations of the distinctive entry times from various satellites to decide your separation from every one of those satellites. I use my GPS all of the time in my everyday life when I am trying to find a new place to eat, shop, or meet a friend, or even do research. Physics has demonstrated that everything is administered by all-inclusive characteristic laws. The laws that we have inferred by speculation, hypothesis, and the good old saying, the proof is in the pudding. It says that nothing ignores or can resist these laws. As it were, we have demonstrated that by laws, everything once watched can be anticipated in development, in space, and time. Thank you very much.